Hi, welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with the summer transfer and moved to Arsenal. Still over here in the beautiful city of Volgograd, here in Russia for the World Cup. You can see behind me there's this monument. Let me bring it a bit closer here. I don't know if you can see that. There's lots of monuments like that all over this city that pays respects to the people who died, or soldiers should I say, who died in the Second World War. Probably the biggest battle of the Second World War was fought in this city when it was called Stalingrad, and thousands and thousands of soldiers died here. So there's lots of monuments to commemorate them all over the city. And if I turn this way, behind me, I'm doing like a real turn here. I don't know if you can see it, but right down behind me, going right back down to where the riverside is, that's where the fan park is. If you've been watching a load of our videos, you would have seen that's where the fan park is. That's where it's all happening. It's a beautiful city, apart from these pesky flies, man. There are millions of them all over the place. But listen, small price to pay for being out here in Volgograd for the World Cup. Now, news yesterday, whilst we was over here, that Granit Xhaka has signed a new long-term contract at Arsenal. It's going to keep him at Arsenal now for a very long time. Now, very interesting this one. I mean, Granit Xhaka was a real favourite under Arsene Wenger. He started practically every single game last season in the league, and it's very interesting that Unai Emery coming out yesterday and saying that as far as he's concerned, Granit Xhaka is a very, very important member of his team, and he's so happy that Granit Xhaka has signed this new long-term deal. Granit Xhaka, as we know, has not always had the greatest of times at Arsenal. As a matter of fact, if we're being 100% honest, he hasn't lived up to the reputation that he came in with. He's not lived up to what we've really expected of him. But Unai Emery sees him as a really important part of the team. I think, of course, Granit Xhaka is going to be getting off to a start in the World Cup. I think their first game is tomorrow, where they're going to be taking, I think their two first games against Brazil, so that's a real baptism of fire. But Granit Xhaka yesterday revealing that he's really, really happy to have signed a new long-term deal that's going to keep him at Arsenal for many years to come. So Granit Xhaka secured. The midfield area is getting really interesting. Now, Lucas Torreira. We was watching the game yesterday with Uruguay. Of course, they won by 1-0 in that game against Morocco, and in the game against Egypt with our boy Mohamed El Neni. Who, he looked like he got a bit out jumped for that goal. But Lucas Torreira came on right near the end of the game. I think it was about like an 87th minute substitute, so we didn't really get a chance to have a proper look at Lucas Torreira. But it does look like Lucas Torreira is definitely going to be coming into the Arsenal team. Now, there's a lot of rumours going around yesterday that Arsenal actually had delegates over here at the game, and those delegates are here, and medical staff, to do the medical with Lucas Torreira. They're going to be doing the medical with Lucas Torreira, and then he's going to be getting all signed up and will be soon announced as an Arsenal player. So you're looking at it and you're starting to think, as I was saying yesterday, what's going to happen with Jack Wilshere? Lucas Torreira definitely signing by the looks of it, unless there's anything goes wrong with the medical. You can see that things can happen. We saw the other day with Nabil Fekir's move to Liverpool that got scuppered because of a failed medical. So listen, it's not 100%, but it's looking almost likely that Lucas Torreira is going to be coming in. Granit Xhaka signed a new long-term deal. Who's going to be the fall guy in that midfield? Is it going to be Jack Wilshere? He hasn't signed a new deal yet. Nothing's been revealed. I'd love to see him come out and say that he's signed a new one, but that hasn't happened yet, and going to be interesting to see what happens there. Also, I don't know if you guys was watching yesterday. I'm sure you were. You're all football fans watching the World Cup yesterday. The game against Portugal and Spain, what an unbelievable game. Cristiano Ronaldo just proved that it's between him and Messi as the best players in the world, but he just proved why he's absolutely world class. That was such a fantastic performance by him. But in that game, I thought I was quite impressed with William Carvalho. playing there as a defensive midfielder for Portugal, and I thought he played really well. He looked very comfortable, passed the ball around well, was pretty commanding in the middle of the park. I mean, he was up against some very, very good players in Isco and in David Silva. I wouldn't say he kept them quiet. It's very difficult to keep those guys quiet, but I thought he had a very competent game. And again, this is a guy that we're being told is available, possibly even for nothing, because there are these rumours, and there have just been rumours, you know, that these players have cancelled their contracts. William Carvalho has not definitely cancelled his contract at Sporting Lisbon. Yes, he was one of those ones that the fans came on the training ground and tried to attack. I wouldn't fancy us trying to attack him. He's a big lump, he is. But if he is available, why not move in for a player like him? All right, I suppose you can look at it and say, right, we've got Lucas Torreira coming in, who's going to be doing that same sort of job. But for me, it's all about having a great squad and strengthening those areas of weakness that have always been a problem at the club, and that is a defensive midfielder. And I was so impressed with Carvalho, and I think he could come in and he could do a fantastic job if he did come in at Arsenal. But listen, that's maybe a bit of a dream, but I don't know what you guys thought of him yesterday. Jean-Michel Seri, we've been talking about him since the start of the transfer window. We still are talking about him. Lots and lots of clubs are interested in this guy. Manchester City, Chelsea was said to be the favourites to get him. Borussia Dortmund. What's going to happen with him? Is he going to leave or is he going to stay? Chelsea was said to be the favourites to sign him. Now we're hearing that he's not too sure about Chelsea because, you know, at the moment they ain't even got a manager. You know what I mean? Nobody knows what's happening over at Chelsea at the moment. And he's said to be not overjoyed about going to Chelsea. Now, also what we're reading is that Arsenal are still very interested in Jean-Michel Seri, would still like to bring him into the midfield. And could Arsenal put a right and proper bid in and get this guy over the line? Again, a lot of it could hinge on what happens with Jack Wilshere. If Jack Wilshere stays, would we need a Jean-Michel Seri? If Jack Wilshere goes, most definitely we could then do with somebody like a Jean-Michel Seri, who is a very similar player to a Jack Wilshere. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on the situation here. Of course, another thing that comes into the mix now is the fact that Nice's new manager is Patrick Vieira. And Patrick Vieira, of course, is a massive name. And Patrick Vieira might be able to keep him and tempt him to stay at the club. But from all what I'm hearing, Jean-Michel Seri wants to leave. Sky were going heavy with this yesterday, apparently over in the UK, saying that Michel Seri is definitely going to be heading to the UK, and it's either going to be one of the three clubs of Arsenal, Chelsea or Manchester City. So again, this one could develop further. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. Also, there have been developments on the Bernd Leno situation. Now, Bernd Leno, goalkeeper, of course, for Bayer Leverkusen. He's definitely on his way out. Leverkusen have already bought their replacement. Said to be valued at about £26 million. We were being told that almost certainly he's on his way to Arsenal. Napoli wanted him, but we've been told that almost certainly he's on his way to Arsenal. He's chosen Arsenal. However, we're hearing today now that there could be a last-minute scupper to that deal, and that club that's trying to scupper it is Roma. Now, Roma, they've got a great goalkeeper in Alisson. You're going to see him in the World Cup in goal for Brazil. However, it looks like they could lose Alisson this summer. He's rated as one of the best goalkeepers in the world right now, and they're kind of resigned to the fact that they could lose Alisson, and they're really interested in bringing in Bernd Leno as a replacement for Alisson. So Leno now with a couple of options to ponder. As I said, Arsenal do seem to be the favourites, but there's no guarantees in this. As I said the other day with the Bernd Leno thing, there's no guarantees. And for me, if Arsenal were not able to get Bernd Leno, to me, there's an obvious guy out there that they should move for, and that is Jack Butland of Stoke. Remember, he's still at Stoke. He's going to be over here in the World Cup tomorrow. Monday, playing for England. I'm not sure if he'll start for England. It looks like Jordan Pickford has kind of moved ahead of him. But surely, if a team like Arsenal moved in for him, surely he'd be tempted by that, especially when it comes to tournaments like this. You're playing for a team like Arsenal, you know, you're more likely to get in ahead of a Jordan Pickford rather than if you're playing for a relegated Stoke. And so far, there have been teams that are coming for him. Wolves have been really interested in signing him, but he said he'd rather stay at Stoke than go to Wolves. But would he have that same attitude if Arsenal made a move? So for me, if we were unable to get Leno, it's got to be a Jack Butland. For me, Premier League ready, all the experience in the world in playing in the Premier League, and a very, very talented goalkeeper. And I'd be more than happy to see him come in at Arsenal. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below and let me know. And finally, seeing as we're over in the World Cup, I think every day what I'm going to try and do is have a look at the players who played the day before and think of a dream signing. Listen, this is not something that's going to happen, right? But somebody that I saw playing in the previous day's World Cup matches and I thought, wow, man, if only we had him at Arsenal. And, you know, somebody that's fairly realistic if we got the checkbook out. So I'm not talking about Cristiano Ronaldo or somebody like that. But the player I'm going to talk about today is Isco. We were linked with him so many times over the years. We didn't move for him. Of course, he's a Real Madrid player now. And he's one of the, you know, Zinedine Zidane loved him at Madrid. New manager now at Madrid. There's all the complications with Gareth Bale. You saw him in the final. He was upset that Isco started in front of him. Isco yesterday was brilliant. For me, the man of the match in that game. Even though Ronaldo scored a hat-trick, but Isco, what a wonderful player he is. Wonderful feet, wonderful passing, wonderful dribbling, scores goals. Him in that midfield for Arsenal, that's another fly chance to think. He would be absolutely amazing for us. And said to be, I think the recent valuation by Real Madrid of him was 80 million euros, probably gone up now after the World Cup. But going in for 100 million for Isco? Oh, that would be my dream signing. What was your dream signing from yesterday's game? Let me know. Thanks for watching the show today. Don't forget to check out all of our World Cup coverage here on AFTV. AFTV here at the World Cup in Russia. Thanks for watching the show, and we'll be back tomorrow.